about. But I got so much pushback just for asserting that, as Dr. Karenga said, just for asserting myself. And for a lot of us, asserting ourselves has become difficult. In the 60s, I don't think it was difficult to assert yourself. There were problems, etc. But in the new millennium, it has become difficult to just do that fundamental assertion of yourself. And I think that is really the biggest problem we have. And so that's my soapbox. And, okay, to the panel. I will start as Brandon models. I'll start on my right, your left, at the far end. At the far end, we have Nolan Rollins. He is the president of the LA Urban League, president and CEO of the Los Angeles Urban League movement. And after 5 years as the president and CEO of the Urban League in Greater New Orleans, he came right after Katrina. A native of Baltimore, Mr. Rollins began his professional career with the Urban League more than 7 years ago as executive vice president of the Greater Baltimore affiliate. In this capacity, he helped to position the agency to monitor over $3 billion in community development projects, which of course makes him our resident expert on economic development. Welcome, Nolan Rollins. Next to him is our education expert of the hour, Corey Rabar. She is the managing regional director of in Los Angeles for the Charter Schools Association. She is an executive director of Families That Can, the charter school parent organizing and outreach group for the California Charter Schools community. In this role, she manages efforts across the state to organize parent and stakeholder constituency efforts aligned with the charter school community's advocacy priorities. Welcome, Corey. Okay, our next panelist is, he has a separate bio. He's done a lot of things. Gregory Akili, he is fundamentally an organizer and activist. He's been involved in many, many things. He is a kind of a self-defined bridge builder. I'll just give you some examples. He worked as an organizer for the United Farm Workers under the leadership of Cesar Chavez and Dolores Huerta. He was the National Field Director for the Campaign to Save Social Security from cuts proposed by Republicans and Tea Party activists. He was also the national organizer for Jesse Jackson's 1988 presidential campaign, and also, come full circle, he worked as a field organizer for South Los Angeles in Obama's 2008 campaign. So he has seen quite a lot. In 2006, Akili co-founded and led the Alliance for Equal Opportunity in Education to address the low admission rates of African Americans to UCLA, my alma mater. This effort forced UCLA to use more holistic measures in its student admission policy. I have to say, UCLA has a terrible record of, it just has a very small percentage of African American students. And it's better, but that's not saying a whole lot. It's pretty distressing. So, and I have to throw this in because I think it's just a great narrative. Akili was born in the segregated South, as many of you might have been. He grew up in a community with high unemployment, underfunded schools, and crime, as some of you might have. And I'll just say he was a frustrated teenager. He sort of got in trouble, but he was determined to turn his life around, inspired by a civic teacher, education, who was also a leader of the NAACP and who saw great potential in him. And so here he is today, having realized all that potential. Welcome, Akili. Okay. Next we have and Greg Akili is our criminal justice expert for today. Okay, next, our cultural competency spokeswoman is Cherise Bremont Weaver. Since 2006, Cherise has been president of the Brotherhood Crusade, a community service and development organization founded by her late father, Walter Bremont, in 1968. Ms. Bremont Weaver is the first woman to ever hold this post and has also set out to maintain the Brotherhood's reputation as a powerful voice for a community. So welcome, Cherise. Good to see you. Next is our health expert, Brian F. Gaines. He is the director of professional training for the Alzheimer's Association, And you know, we've had a lot of emphasis on our youth. I think it's fitting that we focus on our seniors. And some, actually, frankly, some folks with Alzheimer's are not that senior. So he's going to give us that perspective. So Brian Kane serves as the Director of Professional Training at the Alzheimer's Association California Southland chapter, where he oversees several major programs. He specializes in program development, program evaluation, elderly health and geriatrics, specifically in areas of Alzheimer's disease and related dementias. So welcome, Brian. Next in the hottest seat is the political accountability expert.
I'm ready.
Maybe Holly, you're a student of political accountability. Okay, Holly J. Mitchell. State Assembly member Holly J. Mitchell represents the 54th Assembly District in Los Angeles. As mother of a middle schooler, Assemblywoman Mitchell understands the concerns of working families and advocates legislative policy to meet their needs. In the Assembly, she seeks to improve the quality and accessibility of the state's health and education systems. Welcome, Assemblywoman Mitchell. And last but not least, but he asked to go last, so, is Reverend Everett Bell Jr. He is our religion/faith community expert for today. Reverend Bell Jr. is an ordained minister and serves at CORE AME in Irvine, California, under the leadership of Pastor Mark E. Whitlock. You know that name. He currently serves as Executive Director of CORE CDC, which works to address community needs in the areas of affordable housing, workforce development, small business lending, youth services, and financial literacy. Reverend Bell has trained over 300 clergy and lay leaders throughout Southern California on the mechanics of faith-based organizing, including ICMC engagement. I don't know what that is, but you're going to tell us later. So welcome to our panel, Reverend Bell. Okay, now we're just going to have each